by committee, but with the injury to Garrett in training camp, Nesterovich pressed into duty.
Scottie Pippen from downtown, and the Blazers have already hit three.
Maybe Scottie Pippen was saving himself for the big playoff run as he kind of took it easy, at least offensively, throughout much of this season. Everybody, the expectations for this team are really up in the air.
Scottie Pippen, beautiful move. Zerbiak maybe hitting from the outside, but Pippen's putting a clinic on down the other end.
When I say up in the air, I mean sky high, the expectations for this team. They are supposed to do no worse than battle very hard with the Lakers in the Western Conference Final, but a lot of work to be done before that.
Garnett falls down. Stoudemire 1-on-3. David Stoudemire gets the crowd going, and a timeout called by Minnesota. The Rose Garden has come alive early.
Now Scottie Pippen trying to get things going, taking the ball hard to the basket. 4 out of 5 from the field so far for Scottie Pippen. And then David Stoudemire, lethal in the open floor. Very difficult to make him pick up his dribble, easily getting to the basket through the Minnesota defense.
And you're watching the NBA playoffs on NBC.
He's taking a little
Swept by San Antonio. Their season ended on this floor. Wallace. They have all been waiting for the postseason to start.
They move it well, they space the floor, and when they get some driving into the seam, they get those good looks.
Pippen again continues to look for his offense, and Scottie Pippen now 5 of 6 from the field. Pippen using Grant, gets inside again. Scottie Pippen can't miss here in the opening quarter.
Scottie Pippen has been doing it with individual moves, doing it from the perimeter, now running the nice little pick and roll game as he all year long. Normally in the playoffs, you shorten your rotation, but again, he has so many guys that can play, wants to keep them fresh.
Scottie Pippen continues his fine shooting, his second three-pointer.
Pippen has his eyes on the rim. Every time he crosses midcourt, he is looking for a scoring opportunity for himself, and that's not a bad. Sure, it'll come in time.
Steve Smith operating. Nice pull-up from Smith with 4.1 remaining. They'll have time to get off one more. Brandon throws it ahead to Garnett. That's a two-pointer. Oh! Kevin Garnett at the buzzer. It's back-to-back shots for Minnesota. And the T-Wolves hanging tough. And a one-point on that. Pippen, another three. Ball tipped. Garnett couldn't hold on. Wallace goes right at him. Tough move from Rasheed Wallace.
I think Scottie Pippen also fills in that category where, again, his scoring doesn't determine what kind of basketball game he is playing. He doesn't even necessarily have to shoot a high percentage. He does so many other things out on the floor to make his teammates better, to make the game easier for them, and help his team win. And Minnesota calls a timeout. 3 minutes remaining in the third. T-Wolves in front. You're watching the NBA playoffs on NBC.
Again, on the flagrant, you get the 2 shots plus possession, and they take advantage of the possession. Pippen with his first field goal of the period.
Look for the high pick and roll here with Terrell Brandon trying to find a shot.
Brandon puts it in. The three-pointer for Terrell Brandon with 1.1 remaining and their largest lead of the game. Smith, it'll count if it goes, off the mark. And that ends the third quarter. Terrell Brandon and Damon Stoudemire battling, but Brandon not only 15 points, but 11 assists as well. And the Trailblazers will have to come from behind in the fourth quarter. On the road to start the 2000 postseason, the Minnesota Timberwolves with a 75-69 lead. We'll be right back after these messages and a word from your local station. A very unlikely stat, Matt.
Well, you got to be good, number one, and they are. You got to be able to execute. And the other thing, the Timberwolves generally don't beat themselves. They take care of the ball. Fourth quarter.
A better defender than Stoudemire, though certainly doesn't have his offensive game. 5 on the shot clock. Garnett has to shoot over Wallace. Knocks it in. Kevin Garnett has struggled from the outside, but a big bucket there. He's got 12 points and 10 rebounds. Zerbiak on Shrimp. Sabonis given room. And hits it. Alvinas Sabonis, just his second field goal. Minnesota scored only 4 points in the first 6+ minutes of the period. Nesterovich inside. Knocked out of his hands. Picked up by Pippen. This place is ready to explode. Brandon giving Anthony some room. Anthony likes to take those threes. Sabonis against Nesterovic. Makes his move. Feeds inside to Wallace. Wallace drives. And Portland has their first lead of the fourth quarter.
Well, Arvydas Sabonis came about as close as you can to a walking violation, able to just get rid of the ball at the last split second, and Rasheed Wallace being extra aggressive in and around the basket, able to finish off that play, now gets a crack to make a three-point play out of it.
Nesterovic's fifth foul. Wallace now 12 points. Still so much time remaining. 5:16. A 6-0 run by the Blazers. Flip Saunders wants to talk it over. 5:16 remaining in the fourth. The Rose Garden exploding. You're watching the NBA on NBC. Like them. Coming up on 3 minutes remaining. Pippen over ceiling, drops it in. Pippen, we're tied up. The T-Wolves look a little rattled on offense. Brandon kicks it out. Pippen all over Peeler. Peeler falling back, not even close. Smith the rebound. Sensational defense from Scottie Pippen. Slows it down. Stoudemire for three. Wallace right there for the rebound. Rasheed Wallace puts the Blazers back up by three.
Well, in the early part of the first quarter, the Timberwolves were getting hurt on the offensive glass. They seemed to clean that up and take care of business, but that's a devastating play right there, not getting a body on Rasheed Wallace.
Nobody was near him. Under 2 to play. Garnett, the hop step, tough shot, won't go. Rebound. Wallace has played Garnett well all afternoon. The Blazer defense has been brilliant here in the fourth. Scottie Pippen draws the foul, and Pippen hurt as he falls down. A little further out than perhaps he thought when he attempted the dunk, and went down very hard, and he is obviously shaken up.
Scottie Pippen saw an opening, but you're right, Mike, he left too early, the launching pad right around that dotted line, and couldn't get all the way to the basket.
The officials were discussing whether or not it should be a flagrant foul as Pippen gets up.
Pippen trying to make something happen. It's very hard to execute against good defense in this particular time of the game.
Pippen able to hit the first. This is why Scottie Pippen was acquired from Houston. With Stacey Augmon, Kelvin Cato, Ed Gray, Carlos Rogers, Brian Shaw, Walt Williams, and a sign and trade deal with the Rockets. A terrific trade for Portland as Pippen nails them both, and the lead is 5. Even if they let the clock wind down, there'll be over 6 seconds left, and Nesterovic with the foul on Pippen. And Nesterovic is fouled out. Pippen will go to the line for 2 very big free throws.
With 15.5 remaining.
And the smart play there by Scottie Pippen. At halftime, he said to Paul Sunderland, we realize this team is really not a shot-blocking threat. He didn't say, except for Kevin Garnett. But he felt with the Nesterovic in there that he could challenge him, get the shot off, or draw the foul.
He's never been a great free throw shooter, but he hits a clutch one right there, and it makes it a 4-point game with 15.5 left. Some anxious moments once again here at the Rose Garden. Clutch free throws from Pippen.
They struggled to get good shots. Now let's credit the Portland defense. Portland's all over the place. Air ball though, couple good looks, they're air balls. This one, look at, what's 33's name again? He's all over the place in here, doubling, knocking the ball loose. Minnesota's struggling to get a look. Anthony Peeler in the corner, under duress, another air ball. Now we get good kick by Terrell Brandon, but look at Scottie Pippen close, pressure all over AP, another air ball. Team meeting, what's going on? It's the first time all year this has happened.